Okay, so most people don't really look at it much, but the most important thing that actually comes out from sejarah is actually the K-bar questions. Even though it's only like the last question or maybe subjective only last question, it's still worth a lot of marks, and it's very important that you actually try and answer some K-bar questions in the textbook, because those are where most of the ideas come from. So for example, this one, nyatakan jenis kedaulatan yang berkaitan dengan sesebuah negara. For this one, this one isn't actually kebat, but if you're gonna try and answer essay questions, then you can answer. This is the answer for it: kedaulatan tradisional, modern, undang-undang antarabangsa. But there are some questions in this book that are considered very kebatish. For example, here, rasionalkan kepentingan kedaulatan dalam menentukan bentuk sistem pentadbiran negara pada masa ini. That is a form of kebat, and it involves there is a form of kebat, but it's also in the book. Like some kebat questions can also be found in the book, and this is a good example where you would see this thing makes you think, what is the answer? And then when you think more about it more, that is when you realize that the answer is actually this: keberkesanan pentadbiran, kemakmuran ekonomi, kesejahteraan sosial, kecemerlangan hubungan luar negara. Kebat doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be taught outside of the book. It can also be found in the book, but it can be worded in different ways. That is still kebat. And also, again, as I mentioned, the purple box and the blue box, those are kesimpulan. Those will help a lot in kebat questions. So I'm going to try and go around and look at these kebat questions and see if I can solve any of them. This is a very common one. Kedaulatan negara bergantung kepada warganya yang bersatu. This can be actually asked in different ways. For example, one question that I found out from teacher is rakyat penting bagi membentuk perlembagaan. Rakyat penting bagi perlembagaan persekutuan. Bincangkan. It's a similar way where it talks about how rakyat ensures that the perlembagaan is actually actually good, actually important. And why is it related to kedaulatan? Because without perlembagaan rakyat, there will be no kedaulatan. So for this answer, buktikan. What I would answer, again, this is what I would answer. I don't know if I'm correct about this, but one of the answers that I will think of is warganya yang bersatu akan menjamin keamanan negara. This is because wait, let me see. This because salah satu syarat kedaulatan negara, or salah satu cara untuk mempertahankan kedaulatan negara adalah untuk wait. Kedaulatan negara bergantung kepada warganya yang bersatu. Salah satu bukti kedaulatan negara bergantung kepada warganya yang bersatu ialah perpaduan kaum. Hal ini dikatakan demikian kerana jika perpaduan kaum tidak wujud, politik akan menjadi tidak stabil. Politik negara akan menjadi tidak stabil. Kesannya pentadbiran negara lain akan memandang rendah kepada kita dan akan masuk campur terhadap pentadbiran negara. And because there's already these kesan daripada luar negara coming in, orang daripada luar negara trying to interfere, that means we lost kedaulatan, because kedaulatan means power over your own country. And if other people are trying to interfere to make sure that your country is safe, that means you lost your kedaulatan already. Another thing is see here, wujudkan stabilitas politik. And I didn't realize it's actually from you can actually find this in the textbook. That's what I mean. Kebat doesn't necessarily mean you can't find it in the textbook. You have to try and think bigger and try and find out if the answer is in the textbook. Another one would be buktikan hubungan pemerintah dan rakyat mampu mengekalkan hubungan kedaulatan negara. So this one is more towards this one is similar. Like it's a very good question, and the answer is actually here. It doesn't actually bring up the answer. It doesn't actually say out that what is the topic about this is langkah mempertahankan kedaulatan. But this question is about hubungan pemerintah dan rakyat mampu mengekalkan kedaulatan negara. So it doesn't say the same thing, but the answers is actually this whole thing that you see here. So yeah, this is another form of trying to find out, trying to relate some questions to what they actually are. Some are pure K-but where you have to think outside the box. Others are twisted words, but it's actually answered in here. So yeah, again, I'm not really that good at K-but questions, but I can try my best to answer. And the thing about K-but questions is, normally if I answer, I try to answer as many points as I can, because I know that if I get some wrong, at least I have an extra amount of points to gain marks in. Okay, so one of the questions that they ask us to do is, mengapakah hubungan baik dengan negara jiran perlu dipertahankan? This is one of the questions that I actually can do. So why do we need to have a good relationship with other countries? That's because if we do not, then what they will do is they will close the border to around us. If they close the border around us, that will affect our economy. Why will it affect our economy? Because we need to trade with other countries, or we need those ships to go through their borders. If they don't let us go through our borders, it will take longer for our ships, our airplanes to come to our country. It will affect the whole dynamic of the country. The economy will be affected because other countries will boycott us and so on and so forth. But again, I'm not going to mention much about this. I prefer if you to learn it. I prefer to do this alone, and also because I'm not that good at giving K-but answers. Now you can find this in every bab. Let me see if this let me see if this is a good question here. Okay, here. Sikap tidak peka akan sejarah menjadi cabaran Malaysia untuk mengekalkan keluhuran perlembagaan negara. Ulaskan pernyataan ini. You see that brain there? That brain shows that this is a K-but question. So this is an actual K-but question where you have to think outside the box. Like the one that's now. Some people consider it K-but, but you have to look for the answer. Some people don't consider it K-but because you can find it in the book. But anything that requires you to think extra is K-but in my opinion. So but this one is actual K-but. Like this is 100% K-but because it requires you to think of your own points this time. So if you aren't aware of your sejarah, do you actually have kedaulatan? That is what I would think first if I'm talking about this question, because one of the things of kedaulatan is that you must have your own identity. Let me just see if I can find the ciri kedaulatan negara. Let me see. Okay, so let me just go back to the question again. The reason why I would say it would the kedaulatan negara wouldn't be there is because if people aren't aware of the history of how our perlembagaan existed, like the whole challenge of it, they wouldn't really care much about the perlembagaan. If they don't care much about the perlembagaan, that means they wouldn't care. That means they wouldn't really care about breaking the rules. If they break the rules, then our rakyat will become huru hara, kucak kacir, tidak aman. If that's the case, then there's no more kedaulatan because when that happens, because there is a problem in the politic, and if rakyat isn't aman, then people will try to interfere and so on and so forth. There is a lot of points that you can think about in here. But again, I'm not that good at giving points like straight up. I'm not the teacher, so it's just an idea that I want to share, like how you can try and study, where you go to these like K-but questions and ask how do you do them. So let me see if I can find any more. Again, I just go to another bab because it's easier. Okay, if I go to here, you find another K-but question. Oh, here. Mengapakah pentadbiran tentera Jepun mengekalkan pemerintahan berada di tanah Melayu? This is another type of question that that is actually in the book, in the Senior One book actually, but it's something that you need to think more about. Like, why do you think Japan isn't actually being that harsh towards Raja Raja Melayu? The main reason why is because they don't want any perselisihan to happen. Like, for example, Japan doesn't have much money. So, if they take out the king's power, everyone that is Malay will fight against Japan. That will cause Japan to lose a lot of money because they have to fight back, right? If they fight back and a lot of people die, then they'll have less power, and then the country becomes unstable, and because of that, they lose money, and they do not want that because they are already quite in a lot of trouble. So that's why they don't want to they don't want to take out the pemerintahan raja. They want to gain the trust of orang Melayu, so that everything stays all right. There is no war going on, and yeah, I'm just making this random video because I just want to give some insight on why people should think more about Kebat, because in sejarah, in the final exams, you do not want to waste your time memorizing the whole book. So you need to understand the chapter more. When you understand the chapter more, the best way to understand a chapter is by doing Kebat questions. So when you're doing Kebat questions, then you have a broader mindset. Like, why do they do this? Why do they do that? Why is it so important? And if you know all of that, you will be good enough in sejarah. You will at least pass the subject. So yeah, I guess that's all from me. Wait, no. I'll just do one more question. Bincangkan cara menunjukkan kesetiaan kepada raja dan negara. Okay. Now, you look at this one. You will think that you can find this in the book, and you kinda can. If you look at wrong chapter. So how do you show kesetiaan kepada raja dan negara? If you go back to here, I believe there is one part. Here, number one, mematuhi undang-undang negara. See, it is in the book. I know this is a point because if you want to show your respect to the king, you do not want to break his law. So you want to respect the law. Mematuhi undang-undang negara. They are in the same point, but then it still you can still use it as a point for your answer because it makes sense. And the thing that I want to point out here is this is in Bab 1. That question was in Bab 3. So as I said again, Bab 1, 2, and 3 are interrelated, and I want you to actually understand that if you want to answer Kebat questions, you need to find a relation between Bab 1, 2, and 3. You do not want to clearly have a mindset of Bab 1 only, Bab 2 only, Bab 3 only. You want to try and find a connection between all three.